Lots of sunshine to start this Wednesday morning. Joining us this morning is Jim Becker, Executive Director of the Titusville Community Development Agencies. He's also the softball coach. And Jim, I don't know if you've ever had a season start out the way this one has, and which is strange because we said that last year and the year before.
Yeah, this has been interesting, but it's yesterday we had we've had 3 games outside. We've had 1 practice outside, which we weren't able to be on the dirt since March 2nd.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a little challenging.
I took a walk around the fields last night, and they look really nice. There's some gravel in the outfield. I mean, it looks really sharp out there. Yeah,
the maintenance crew over the school district has done a real nice job getting both baseball and softball fields ready when we can.
Yeah.
And we got just too much rain the night before. After we actually played Franklin that night. As soon as the game was over, it was downpour, and then it just lasted too long. The field just didn't have enough time to recover.
Do you ever consider street ball?
That in a dome, a big dome.
Well, how does this affect the girls and their mental capacity?
They've been great. I mean, they can see outside too. When you got 4 inches of snow on the ground, there's no chance.
Yeah.
When you get up to 50, 60 degrees and they start chomping to get outside, and there's nowhere to go, nothing to do. The fields just aren't ready.
Now, with that said, you've had a lot on your mind the last couple of weeks. This kind of weather, does that sort of help you kind of focus on the main stuff?
It's actually been. It's been inconvenient for the softball team. It's been very convenient for me with my real job.
Right.
We've been able to. I break away to softball when I can, when it permits, and we're at a place now where I can't be in the crane basket every day. Looking over the top. And
right.
I need to get out of those guys' way. Let them do their job and do their work. So yeah, it's good.
I saw you Saturday morning at the VFW where they actually presented the checks to the fire companies who were present.
Right.
$8,800.
Yeah, that's good stuff. It's the whole way that was put together, how quickly it was put together, would take pride, the chamber and the VFW coming together with a quick idea, and to be able to pull it off with the volunteers, with the organizations, and the community needed that. Everyone was looking for a way to say thank you, and nobody really, there wasn't a vehicle to make that happen. And I think it was very well received. It was very well done and put together. And for them to raise that kind of money in that short amount of time, and to be able to give that back to the departments and units that were there, it's really special.
I think the biggest surprise to me was not the amount or not being able to hand that check out so quickly, but handing out a check to those on standby.
Yeah.
I mean, I said, what?
Yeah, there's a whole thought process behind it. It was really well thought out. Those guys, the units that were on standby were covering the other units that were here. They put different departments on standby that were covering much larger areas because their crews and vehicles were over here in Titusville. So it was very well thought out by the groups, all 3 groups.
I had a chance to talk with some of the volunteers, especially one volunteer chief privately, outside of all of that, and he was just simply amazed. He said he has never seen a small town come together like this.
It's sad that it takes an event like this to prove what many of us already know about the community, but it's special. It really is. It's just special. You run out of good words and phrases to say about these things that are happening and going on. In many cases, it's just overwhelming, and all you can do is the simple thank you and shake hands, and it's.
I ran out in about 2nd grade, so that's.
Well, the other thing that's nice to know is, the way these folks really say thanks is they show up for the next call.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They don't need encouragement for that.
And that doesn't just tell you about this community; it tells you about all these other communities around here. I mean, this is why people are coming back to live here, or to find jobs, or to raise a family.
No question. And it's that small community atmosphere where you can raise your family. You can. That's why I'm here.
And speaking of which, I saw your daughter and your wife at swim lessons the other night.
Yeah. with the twins.
With the twins.
And my wife and daughter were not at lessons. It's
right. The twins were at the
4-year-olds
lessons. Right.
Yeah. My daughter and her family just moved back, recently. So it's good to have the family around and get to sugar up the grandkids and
send them back. That's great. Yeah. Well, on a more serious note, what's going on? What's the latest report?
We had a pretty good meeting yesterday with the construction company and the crane company, and a lot of debris is coming off the roof. They're in a pretty good place now as far as stability goes. Some of the brick structure that's separating our building and Carpenter's Corners building, the facades on the front, some of the brickwork on the back, that was I don't want to say completely unstable, but it was in jeopardy, I guess, because the full structure wasn't intact. All of that is pretty much taken care of at this point. They've been carefully removing some of the debris that was in tenuous spots. They've been able to recover some things that we were actually looking for, which was just amazing to me. I mean, for our servers, that kind of stuff, all intact.
That is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, a thumb drive that was in a computer, within 3 hours of me having it, the data and information, I took it to our computer guys down at World Connects and Byte Shop. That data was recovered, put on a different thumb drive, and installed on our new laptop for Kristen, our financial officer, within 3 hours.
Wow! And you had mentioned how much time and work did that save her?
About 90 days.
That is amazing.
There would have been a lot of stuff that would have had been recovered. Yeah, stuff like that is the little victories.
Yeah.
So it's they've really been working hard. I give them a lot of credit, because there's been it has snowed while they're here. It has been pouring rain while they're here. High winds while they're here. They're moving along at as quick a pace as I think they can. I know it is inconvenient. There's no question it's inconvenient having Franklin Street blocked off and part of Spring Street, and we certainly appreciate everyone's patience. We're hopeful within the next 10 days.
Yeah, but see, what I'm hearing is it's great that it's started so quickly, that people are working on it. Get it done. Let's get people back in that building.
Yep, and that's exactly what we're hearing too. I honestly have not heard one complaint about the recovery piece and the inconvenience. Our focus is trying to get Carpenter's Corners up. I actually think they're going to be up today. I think they're going to be opened up today. I know it's inconvenient for Cochran's Real Estate. They got a crane sitting right in their front window. It's challenging for them. There's no two ways about it.
The actual crane or Bill Cochran?
I think it's Bill.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing,
he just sits there in that window there.
The one thing that comes to mind is as you have filled us in over the months and years on things done at the Opportunity Park, you've mentioned time and again how many things happened on the inside and underneath that people can't see. This is something that folks can put their hands around, and they can take a look at it and keep up with this.
Well, and now they can actually see into it.
Yeah, this one doesn't get much more visible than right downtown. We're entering into that phase now where our intent is to, as soon as the debris is off the fourth floor, we literally had a guy here yesterday looking at a temporary roof structure and how it could be installed on the fourth floor above everywhere but the brewery, from our intersection with Carpenter's Corners all the way down to the old Victoria's building. And while that is going on, our intent will be to start the internal demolition above the brewery. So those first, second, and third floor, start with the drywall, ceiling grids, all that kind of stuff, get that demolished so we can able to start drying the buildings on that side. Then from there, the key here is to get those guys in the brewery up and running just as quickly as we can. Yeah. We can deal with the construction above that at a later point, but getting that building internally demoed and start the drying processes.
And right now, every business that was located in there, they have a place, except the brewery is sort of...
And there are some plans that are being developed with them right now. They are working with some of their other brewing partners. they're brewing at another, 2 different locations. Other breweries are allowing them to brew there. They're cleaning their kegs at Voodoo, I believe, over in Meadville. So I mean, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that a lot of people just don't know about yet. But there are some plans in place that I'll leave up to the brewery guys to announce. But there's stuff moving.
It sounds like the morale overall is good, both in your organization and everywhere else.
Well, I've been fortunate for a long time. That the staff that we have in place at the Redevelopment Authority is just special. They really are. There's 5 of them working around 2 8-foot tables pushed together right now at City Hall, and it's not the best work conditions for the type of work that they do. Each one of them is working on different things. One's finances, and another is working on business outreach, another's working on grant writing, and another's working on foundation pieces. And Renee's trying to keep them all, all the information gathered all together. It's and then I'm running in and out, being a distraction. So we're hopeful. We're working on some space down at Opportunity Park. We're going to. We had some space that was going to be our next project after the manufacturing buildings were done that we're working on. So we just moved that timetable up a little bit, get some of that stuff in and completed, and we'll be able to hopefully be down there in the next couple of weeks, I would think.
But it's probably pretty convenient to be in City Hall, so close to the...
For me, yes. Yeah. For them, not so much.
Well, you can move them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I may keep a temporary, I'll work with Larry, and I'm sure I'll probably keep a little temporary space up there if I need to. But as we get further down the road on this project, I'll be there every day, obviously. But right now I'm responding to text messages and emails saying, "Hey, we need you to come over here for this." So it's convenient, absolutely.
It's 8:21. We're here with Jim Becker. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. Prior to this, you had a lot of projects you were working on. I'm sure businesses are counting on you to continue to work on those projects. Has that slowed at all, or is that one of those things where you can continue to work on those things?
It slowed us for probably 10 days to 2 weeks, to be honest. But there's community projects that we're working on, like the Fleming Park project, the water trail study project, the street light project. It's all ongoing and at different levels. We just bid out and awarded the bid for the housing demolition for the houses that we had acquired at judicial sale a little earlier to remove some blighted structures in town. So that all those things keep going. We're working on a manufacturing renovation project down at Opportunity Park, where we're renovating 5 more buildings. So they'll end up looking like the Grand Valley structure beside the football field, and also the other 2 buildings we did down there on the east end of the park. So that's ongoing. Contractors have been working all through the winter on that. That's about half done. So there's always something going on. We weren't looking for another project. It's
or at least one that you just finished.
Yeah. So
let's do that again. That was so much fun the first time.
Yeah. So it's been a challenge, but I think we're starting to get our legs under us now. Still do not have the plan. I can't sit here and answer what's next on that building other than a couple of timeline pieces, because once we have the debris off and once the temporary roof structure is on, then we can really start laying out the plan of how we can do it, what we can do, how we can tackle it, time frames, dollar amounts, and really start.
It's really got to be a step-by-step process.
And it's going to be. I keep using the example of a 35-step process, and we might be on step 3. And how we divide up the project, what we tackle first, how we tackle it. It's going to be a project, and it's not going to be done in 30 days. This is going to be an ongoing long project, but we understand that what the importance the building and the facility are to the community, and as an anchor in the downtown. And quite frankly, I may have touched on this before, it was a good thing for me to be reminded of, because over time, I think you get to the point where I didn't realize what that anchor in the middle of our downtown had become to so many. And starting the afternoon of the fire, at one point I had over 100 emails and text messages unanswered that night. on my phone from people all over. Our athletic director was in Hershey at the athletic directors conference, and he had people coming all over from northwestern Pennsylvania who were there, coming to him saying, "What's going on at the in Titusville?"
That was something I wanted to ask you about. Secretary was it Alan
Walker
was there. When you guys did the ribbon cutting on, was it the third floor?
Yes.
Second floor.
Yep.
Have you heard anything from those folks at all?
Oh yeah. That night I had emails from people on Harrisburg offering their assistance and anything they could do to help. There will be a point where we'll go to the and talk to our counterparts at the state, and once we have that plan, once we have the project, and figure out where we're at, where we're going.
That's got to be very heartening.
Well, yeah, it's a and we've received. How can I even say this? We've received everything from condolences to offers of assistance from everywhere.
Wow.
From each corner of the state with our economic development partners, our local entities offering everything from space for us to space for our tenants to move to temporarily. It's been overwhelming. And the problem we have literally is we don't know what to ask for yet. We don't know where we're at yet to be able to coherently say, yeah, we could use X, Y, and Z. So we'll get there. Once we get that figured out, I've made promises to others that we will ask. This is one of those projects where the redevelopment authority is not going to be able to do it on our own.
Yeah. And I'm sure they understand too that you got to find out what's going on with the building first. Once you know that, then you can say, okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
This is what we need.
Yep.
Tomorrow is the chamber banquet, and you guys usually present some awards, and this doesn't change anything for tomorrow night. So you have to be excited to be able to at least, again, think positively and thank the businesses you deal with.
Absolutely. We last year we created a business distinction award to recognize a local business who has gone above and beyond. We had several nominees this year, but I think once the award winner is announced, there'll be nothing but head nodding going on in the room, saying, "Oh yeah, they deserve that." So we're very excited about. We're able to, we're grateful to the chamber to allow us to be part of it and recognize one more group, one more entity that has a big part in our community.
Sounds like maybe next year might be a little more difficult because there's a lot of.
Actually, there's so much going on. Next year is going to be very difficult. So it's 1 year at a time.
Absolutely. Just a couple minutes left here, and again, there's a lot going on, but there's not a lot that can necessarily be said quite yet. Right. And again, it just shows that the community is really taking an interest in what's happening. They want to see the businesses who are exceeding already down there. They want to see them back up and running. And again, I'll say this: it's odd to drive by on a Friday or Saturday or any night and not see the lights and the people inside the brewery.
Yep, no question. And it's put a dampener on the downtown. And some of the other restaurants have definitely picked up the slack. There's no two ways about to argue that. And it's,
and that's another thing about people coming together, opening their doors for the folks from the Blue Canoe to come in and put on fundraisers.
Absolutely. Maybe Cross Creek opened early to allow for the workers from Belfour who were here.
Oh wow!
So they could all be together and stay together, and
because they weren't going to golf because of the rain. So
no, they
didn't have to worry
golfing.
about that.
So it's. So the whole crew is staying up there, and they've been very, very accommodating, and it's all the way around. I can't say enough good things about how the businesses and the community in general have been engaged with the crews that are here, have been supportive of everything that's going on, and supportive of the overall approach and what we're trying to get done. So
right now, you guys are still at City Hall. If
Correct.
folks want to get a hold of you,
Right now, you can get us on our. We have a number's been transferred into a cell phone. It's 827-3668. It takes a message there. We can also accept our emails, our standard email. And there's also a TRA@tcda.org. That gets it into us as well.
Should folks, if it's really important, maybe get a hold of you. If not, should they?
We're okay.
Okay.
We're, like I said, our feet are under us, not fully yet, but we're back to day-to-day operations, and we're trying to, get all these other projects moving and out the door, and contracts awarded, and keep things rolling. So yeah, absolutely, give us a call. Let us know what's going on, if you need something, or we'll work on it as best we can.
Alrighty, Jim Becker joining us here this morning. Greatly appreciate your time.
No problem.
Appreciate the updates. There's so much going on. It's great to see that everybody's acting quickly on this.
We're trying.
Not as fast as you would like.
I'm not patient.
but it is still going pretty fast. And the other thing, and I think this is going to come out maybe Sunday in a report that I guess it's just a fascinating look at how a community comes together, at maybe even how a region comes together to help out.
Yeah, do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yesterday, the Erie Times had a reporter and photographer in town all day, talking to a lot of different people from a lot of different organizations, and the theme of the article, as I understand it, is going to be the community had a lot of momentum before the fire happened, and how does something that big affect a town this small? And we're pretty excited to read it. It was pretty in depth on where she was going, so it could be a good one.
And don't forget, people can contribute by, visiting the Greater Titusville Development Foundation website, or call 564-0406.
Yep, and then there's also the Phoenix Fund out there that through the United Way. Yep.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to learn about another way to help out. We're going to have the folks from Donovan Bauer join us. So that's coming up next, right after a look at news.
Simple, and I can't help but stare, 'cause I see true summer in your eyes.